Once again, I welcome in the course Transportation Engineering. So till now we have discussed about the design of flexible pavement, and in the design of rigid pavement we have discussed how to compute the wheel load stress, and then how to compute the temperature stress, and then we have discussed the critical combination of stress. So today I will discuss the in the design of rigid pavement different types of joints, and then how to design these joints. So let us start the different types of joint. Like there are various types of joint, say transverse joint and longitudinal joints, and this transverse joint is further classified in the expansion joint, contraction joint, construction joint, and warping joints. So these are the cross section, or we can say here. So we can say this is the direction of traffic, and these are the different slab. So this joint and this joint is called expansion joint, and IRC says that the spacing between these expansion joints should not be greater than 140 meter. Similarly, these are the various dowels bars, and these are the tie bars provided, and these joints are called contraction joints, and this is called the longitudinal joints, and these are the dowels provided in the direction of traffic. So firstly I will discuss what is the expansion joint. So expansion joint is generally provided to expand the pavement when the environment temperature is more than the construction temperature of the pavement. And this is the here this is the length L, and this delta is the expansion, and this value IRC says that, so we can compute the value of delta by 2 is equal to L into alpha into T. So here we have written that delta by 2 is equal to L into alpha into T, where delta is the width of expansion joint gap, and alpha is the coefficient of thermal expansion in per degree centigrade, and T is the temperature difference, and L is the length of slab. As per IRC, maximum spacing between expansion joints should not exceed 140 meter for rough interface layer, and the width of expansion joint should not be greater than 2.5 centimeter, and the width of expansion joint is provided such that delta by 2 gap is always maintained in between adjacent slab, that is filler material composed of cork or fiber board is compressed by 15%. So let us take one question related to these expansion joints. Design spacing of expansion for cement concrete pavement if width of the expansion joint is 2 centimeter. So the value of delta is 2 centimeter, and the temperature difference, that is T, is equal to given 28 degrees centigrade, and the difference in temperature coefficient of thermal expansion is given, that is 12 into 10 to the power minus 6 per degree centigrade. So we have the relation that delta by 2 is equal to L into alpha into T. So alpha can be computed as delta by 2 divided by alpha into T. So delta, what is delta? So delta is 2 centimeter, means 1 centimeter divided by alpha is 12 into 10 to the power minus 6 into temperature difference is 28 degree centigrade. So this value will be 1 divided by 12 into 28 into 10 to the power minus 6. So this value is 2976 centimeter, or divided by 100, so it will be 29.76 meter. If I convert in meter, so it will be 10 to the power minus 2, so it will be 29.76 meter is the spacing of expansion for cement concrete. Another type of joint that is called contraction joints. So when slab contracts due to fall in slab temperature below the construction temperature, it also occurs during the initial curing period, the contraction joints will occur. So this is the cross section of this slab, and here we can say that B is the width of the slab, and half portion is called entire length is LC, so the half portion is LC by 2, and this is the frictional resistance. So here I will discuss the two cases when the reinforcement is not provided or when no dowels bars are provided. Then how do we compute the allowable how to compute the length of contraction joint, and if the reinforcement is provided, then how to compute the length of contraction joint. So when no reinforcements are provided or no dowels bars are provided, so total frictional resistance up to a distance LC by 2 here. Here we can see the total frictional resistance. What is the total frictional resistance? So what is the frictional coefficient of friction into LC by 2 into B into H? So here I have written gamma C into B into H into F into LC by 2, where gamma C is the unit weight of concrete, B is the width of the slab, and LC is the length of contraction joint, and H is the thickness of the pavement, and F is the frictional resistance. Similarly, allowable tension in cement concrete is what is SC into H into B. So if I equate this equation 1 and 2, so we will get the value of SC is equal to F into gamma C into LC by 2. So with the help of this equation, we can compute the value of LC, we can compute, and this is the final things we have to find, that is length of contraction joints. Here LC is the slab length or spacing between contraction joint, H is the slab thickness, gamma C is the unit weight of cement concrete, that is equal to 2400 kg per meter cube, and SC is the allowable stress in tension in cement concrete. If it is not given, so we can take 0.8 kg per centimeter square. F is the coefficient of friction. The maximum value of this F is 1.5, and B is the slab width. Similarly, the sigma B is the width. And the second case, that is when reinforcements are provided or when dowel bars are provided, then total frictional resistance up to distance LC by 2 is equal to sigma ST into AST. And if I equate this value with the gamma C into B into H into LC by 2 into F, so we will get the expression of LC is equal to 2 times sigma ST into AST divided by gamma C into B into H into F, where AST is the total area of steel across the slab width. We have already discussed gamma C is the unit weight of concrete, B is the width of the slab, H is the thickness of slab, and F is the coefficient of friction. Maximum value is 1.5. LC is the length of contraction joint, and sigma ST is the allowable tensile stress in steel. So let us take one question related to this. Determine the spacing between contraction joint for 3.5 meter slab width having thickness of 20 centimeter and F is equal to 1.5 for the following two cases. First case, for plain cement concrete having SC is equal to 0.8 kg per centimeter square, and for another case, that is for when reinforcement is provided having 1 centimeter diameter bar and spacing 0.3 meter spacing, and sigma ST we have to take 1400 kg per centimeter square. So first case first, when reinforcement is not provided, in that case we have seen that SC is equal to F into gamma C into LC by 2. So here LC can be computed as 2 times SC divided by F into gamma C. So length of contraction joint can be computed at 2 into SC is the, it is not given, so SC is given, that is 0.8 kg per centimeter square. So SC is 0.8 kg per centimeter square. The value of F is 1.5, and the value of unit weight of concrete is 2400 kg per meter cube. So here we have to convert this. This is in 0.8 kg per centimeter square, and here it is kg per meter cube. So if I convert in centimeter, so this value will be kg per centimeter square, and this is kg per meter cube. So 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So 10 to the power 2 whole cube. So here we will get the value of LC is equal to 2 into 0.8 into 10 to the power 6 divided by 1.5 into 2400. So this value is 444.44 centimeter. So if I convert, this value is 444.4 centimeter. So the length of contraction joint is 4.44 meter. Similarly, the second case second, when reinforcement is provided, so firstly we have to write the expression case 2, when reinforcement is provided, then how we compute the value of LC? That is equal to 2 times sigma st into AST divided by F into gamma C into B into H. With the help of this, we can compute the length of contraction joint. So when reinforcement is provided, so we can compute the length of contraction joint by this expression, and AST can be computed. N is the number of bar and phi is the diameter of bar. So firstly we have to compute the number of bars. N is equal to, so the width, the spacing between the 3.5 meter slab width, so it is the 3.5 meter divided by spacing. So what is the spacing? Spacing is 0.3 meter. So spacing is 0.3. So it will be 35 by 3. So AST can be computed 35 by 3 into pi by 4 into diameter of the bar. So what is the diameter? 1 centimeter diameter bar. So pi by 4 into 1 square. So total AST can be computed by this formula, 35 into pi divided by 12. So it is 9.163 centimeter square. So if I compute this value, so the value of length of contraction joint is coming 1018.11 centimeter, or we can write LC is equal to divided by 100. So it will be 10.18 meter if I convert in meter. Another type of joint that is called construction joint. So it is not a type of joint. This type of joint is generally created due to the discontinuity of the work at the end of the day. Generally we don't want such type of joints in our pavement. Similarly, another type of joint that is called warping joint. So this type of joint is generally provided to release the stresses due to temperature variation. Such type of joint is provided in the pavement. Another type, that is the design of tie bars. So what is tie bars? So tie bars are provided at longitudinal joints and it is oriented perpendicular to the direction of traffic. Main function of tie bar is to hold the pavement together. In general, deformed bar of diameter not more than 20 mm and spacing not more than 75 mm center to center is provided for the tie bar. So here we can see that these are the tie bars, and this is called the development length. So area of steel can be computed, sigma st into AST is equal to F into gamma C into B into H, and the length of tie bar can be computed 2 times the LD, where LD is the development length. So LD can be computed by phi into sigma st by 4 tau BD, where phi is the diameter of the bar and tau BD is the bond allowable bond stress in concrete, and sigma st we have already discussed. So spacing can also be computed by 1000 divided by number of bars, or we can say 1000 by AST into pi by 4 phi square. This value of allowable bond shear stress in concrete is taken as 24.6 kg per centimeter square for deformed bar, and for it is 17.5 kg per centimeter square for plain tie bars. So let us take one question related to the tie bar. Cement concrete pavement has a thickness of 24 centimeter and has 2 lane of width 7.2 meter with the longitudinal joint in between. Design the dimension and spacing of the tie bar by using the following data. Sigma st is given, unit weight of concrete is given, coefficient of friction is given, and bond shear stress of concrete is given. Allowable bond shear stress in concrete is given 24.6 kg per centimeter square. So firstly we have to find the length of tie bar. So what the length of tie bar, LT is equal to, it is 2 times LD, or we can write 2 times phi into sigma st divided by 4 tau BD, or we can write phi into sigma st divided by 2 tau BD. So this is the length of tie bar. So AST can be computed. So firstly we have to find the AST. So what is AST? So AST can be computed, that is equal to, here we have seen the AST is equal to F into gamma C into B into H, F into gamma C into B into H divided by sigma ST. So if I compute the value of area of steel, so area of steel can be computed as area of steel, that is equal to coefficient of friction is 1.5 into 2400 kg per meter cube into width is 3.6 meter and thickness is 24 centimeter, so it is 0.24 centimeter divided by sigma st. So sigma st is given, that is 1400 kg per centimeter square. So 1400 kg per centimeter square. So area of steel can be written as, area of steel is 1.5 into 2400 into 3.6 into 0.24 divided by 1400. So it is coming 2.22 centimeter square per meter length. So if I compute the spacing, so spacing can be computed as, spacing is equal to, if we provide, assume 8 mm diameter is provided, so spacing can be computed as, spacing is it will be this value is 1000 divided by, this value is 2.22 centimeter square, so 100, sorry, it is 100 divided by, this value is 100 per meter, means 100 divided by 2.22 into pi by 4 into 0.8 square. So this value is 100 divided by 2.22 into 4 into pi into 0.8 square. So this value is coming 22.64 centimeter. 22.64 centimeter. So it is okay. It is not greater than 75 centimeter. So spacing is okay. So length of tie bar can be computed by, length of tie bar is phi into sigma st. Phi into sigma st divided by 2 into tau bt. So phi is 0.8 centimeter into sigma st. So sigma st is 1400 kg per centimeter square. So 1400 kg per centimeter square divided by 2 into allowable bond stress in the concrete is given in the question, 24.6 kg per centimeter square. So 24.6 kg per centimeter square. So this value is 0.8 into 1400 divided by 2 into 24.6. So it is 22.76. 22.76 centimeter. So length of tie bar is equal to 22.76 centimeter. Now I am going to design how to design the dowel bars and what is the dowel bar. So dowel bars are provided at expansion joint or contraction joint, and it is oriented along the direction of traffic. So what are the various objectives to provide the dowel bars? So the first objective is to transfer the wheel load from one slab to another. Another application or objective of the dowel bars to reduce the differential deflection between two slabs. What is the various specification that is given by the IRC? Specification of dowel bars. So generally the diameter of dowel bars should not exceed, dowel bar is 25 mm. Length of dowel bar is generally 0.5 meter and spacing of dowel bar is generally 200 mm for 15 centimeter thick slab and 300 mm for 20 centimeter thick slab. Design steps for the dowel bars. So firstly we have to find the length of embedment of dowel bars, and the length of embedment can be computed by this expression. 5 into D FF by FB into LD plus 1.5 delta divided by LD plus 8.8 delta, where D is the diameter of double bars, delta is the width of expansion joints, and load carrying capacity of double bar can be computed P dash, that is equal in shear. So in shear it is can be computed by pi by 4 into d square into Fs. In bending or flexor, we can compute by P2 dash, that is 2dq into Ff divided by LD plus 8.8 delta, and in bearing, Fb into LD square into D divided by 12.5 LD plus 15.1.58, and minimum value we have to take, that is the load carrying capacity of the dowel bar. So minimum value we have to take. Minimum value will be the P dash. Here, Fs is the permissible shear stress in dual bars, Ff is the permissible flexural stress in dual bars, and Fb is the permissible bearing stress in the dual bar. Similarly, load transfer capacity of dual bar is 40% of wheel load, and capacity factor required is 0.4 P divided by P dash, that is the minimum value, of course. And then according to IRC, the capacity factor can be computed. So capacity factor is equal to 1 just below the wheel load, and it is 0 at a distance of 1.8 L from the point of application of wheel load. If the capacity factor provided is greater than capacity factor required, then it is okay. And the capacity factor provided can be computed by this expression, that is 1 plus 1.8 L minus S divided by 1.8 L plus 1.8 L minus 2S divided by 1.8 L plus 1.8 L minus 3S divided by 1.8 L plus so on and so forth, where small l is the radius of relative stiffness, that is EHQ by 12K into 1 minus nu square to the power 1 by 4, and S is the spacing between the dowels bars. Minimum length of dowel bars can be computed by this expression, that is LD plus delta, where LD is the total length of embedment of dowel bar and delta is the joint width. So let us take the one question related to the design of dowel bars. Design a dowel bar for cement concrete slab for the following conditions. Wheel load is given 4100 kg, slab thickness is 20 cm, joint width is 2 cm, and the value of Fs, Ff and Fb is given 1000 kg per centimeter square, 1400 kg per centimeter square, and 100 kg per centimeter square. Radius of relative stiffness is 70.11 centimeter. So firstly we have to assume the diameter. Let us assume the diameter of dowel bars is 2.5 centimeter, and the wheel load everything is given. So the development length LD can be computed, that is equal to, or length of dowel bars can be computed, that is equal to 5 into D Ff by Fb into LD plus 1.5 delta divided by LD plus 8.8 delta. So delta is given in the question, 2 centimeters. Ff and Fb is also given, and diameter we have assumed, that is let us assume the diameter is 2.5 centimeters of the dia of dowel bars. So we have already assumed the diameter of dowel bar is 2.5 centimeter. So with the help of trial and error methods, the LD value can be computed, or length of dowel bar, that is 40.47. So we can assume the length of embedment is 40.5 centimeter. Now we have to check, firstly check what is the minimum length of dowel bars. So minimum length of dowel bars is LD plus delta, means LD is 40.5 plus delta is 2 centimeter, means it is 42.5 centimeter. So we have to provide 2.5 centimeter diameter dowel bars of length 45, total length is 45 centimeter. Second thing is the load carrying capacity of dowel bars. So as I told you that the load carrying capacity of the dowel bar is the minimum of the bearing load transfer capacity computed in shear, bending or flexor, and in bearing. So in shear we can compute pi by 4 into d square into Fs. So Fs is given, and diameter we have assumed 2.5 centimeter, so it is coming 4908 kg. Similarly, in bending and flexor, P2 dash can be computed by this expression, and actual value of length of dowel bar is 45 minus delta, that is 2 centimeter, so it is 43 centimeter. So with the help of this LD 43 centimeter and Ff is given, and diameter is 2.5 centimeter. So the In bending or flexure, P2 dash value is coming, that is 722 kg. Similarly, in bearing, we can compute the value of P3 dash, that is by this expression. So it is coming 804 kg. So minimum of these three value we have to take. So minimum value is 722 kg. So that will be the load capacity of dowel bars, that is 722 kg. After that, we have to compute the load carrying capacity, load transfer capacity of dowel bars, that is equal to 40% of the wheel load. So it is 40% of whatever wheel load is given in the question. Similarly, the capacity factor required can be computed. So capacity factor required is equal to load transfer capacity of dowel bar divided by 722. So it is 0.4 into 4100 divided by 72. So it is coming 2.27. Now we have to check whatever capacity factor required, that is whether it is okay or not, or capacity factor provided should be greater than capacity factor required. So capacity factor provided can be computed by the following expression, where L is the relative stiffness that is given in the question, 71.11 centimeter, and effective distance up to which there is a load transfer, that is 1.8 L. So 1.8 into 71, it is coming 1.28 S. So capacity factor provided can be computed by 1 plus 1.8 L minus S divided by 1.8 L plus 1.8 L minus 2S divided by 1.8 L plus 1.8 L minus 3S plus, divided by 1.8 L plus so on and so forth. With this value we have to take until the value comes to be negative. So I have assumed the spacing is 300 mm or 30 centimeters. So it can be computed by 1 plus 1.8 L is 128 centimeters. So 128 minus 30 divided by this plus this. So this value here we can see that this value is coming negative. So this value we have we cannot take, and further calculation will not be required. So with the help of this value, and this value, we can compute the capacity factor provided, and it is coming 2.65. So provided is 2.65 and required is 2.27. So it is okay. If capacity factor provided is less than the required, then we have to change the spacing, and once again we have to compute the capacity factor provided. So we can provide the capacity factor provided is greater than the capacity factor required, so it is okay. So we can provide the spacing of 30 centimeter and provide the 2.5 centimeter diameter dowel bars and a spacing of 30 centimeter, and the total length is 45 centimeter.